broadcast it, I think.
Yeah, don't broadcast
No
it.
broadcast. I've given a few lectures like this before, and it's not much fun when you arrive and you're just like,
Yeah, no, you get.
Right.
So
I've got all the
it must
kit
be
ready.
raining with where you are.
It's pretty wet. Pretty wet, yeah. I mean, it's yeah. Right, I'm just going to stick this on because I can't function without a mouse. I'm a bit hopeless like that.
Oh, sorry.
Is there?
I have the key.
Oh goodness. Modern laptops, they don't even have USB holder sticks, do they?
So we got a good idea about Ketsu, and Halima's like used it, I think, properly. Hopefully properly. So we got some questions because like this is for a conference next week, and it's we've got a workshop, and then as part of the workshop we wanted to do a Ketsu with the participants. In fact, we put this
Yeah,
in our
ketso.
Ketso, okay, so that's a
Yeah.
good
It's-
so Ketso, um and yeah, so it's hard to know how many people are going to turn
Mhm.
up. So
I've
that's
made enough for you to,
something.
I've got enough kit together for 50 people, so that should be more than enough, hopefully.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that would be great if we get that number, I think. And
yeah.
it's possible because we're the second day and it quite nice time, and
Hmm. So the conference,
it's
I tell
BERA conference, which is British Educational Research Association conference, been held in Manchester,
you,
in University Place, in fact.
oh, right, okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
so just around the
yeah.
corner, yeah.
So it's dead handy. But we're not, we've got other things to do in the workshop. So one of the questions is, I don't think we're going to have time to do like a full ketsu.
Mhm.
It's going to have to be, and how can we shorten it so we can
Sure,
still got
sure.
like that group work and they're kind of using it, but
Look, can I propose that I share screen and then I'm going to go into a piece of software that I've developed. It's a bit it's a beta piece, but it's actually a workshop planning tool. So we can ask, as we ask these questions, I'll plug it into the software and then we'll end up with a workshop plan for you. How does
okay.
that sound?
Yeah, that does sound good.
Okay, so of course, this is where I then try and work out somebody else's laptop and can't figure it out. Am I all right to?
Yeah, please.
I'll just go to a new tab, shall I? So what we'll do is create an account for you. Manchester .ac.uk. So it's a piece of, it would probably help if I spelt it right. Oh, I think, oh dear.
Sorry, we caught you just right as soon as you
Yeah,
came.
no, it's all right. I mean, everybody's time is precious, so I get it. Thinking. Sorry, I should, because I'm not on my laptop. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Thinkingwhere.manchester.uk. So if we create an account for you, so what shall we just make it should we make it who do for Pauline or Halima? I mean, you can always just
Yeah, do it for Halima because she's there with you. It's
right.
it's fine. And Halima has used so
Yeah. What's your last name?
Sadia, Sadia, that the top one.
Oh yeah. Okay, and email.
Is that halima.me and is sorry, not this one. I will.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, if I'd got this done quicker, but but once we've
no,
done it, then if you make a password that works for you. So once you've done this, what you get is a workshop planning tool that allows you to put in the time, the duration, the time, and all the stages of it. And it also has a thing where we sort of, you can say what's skippable or squashable. So
Okay.
squashable is the things I like, where it's you're still going to do the step, but you're going to do it in a way that's really quick and easy. So if you want to let me know what's your what's the overall sort of aim of the workshop?
Right. So the aim of the workshop is to encourage participants to consider how they can use AI and NVivo to help with literature review.
Using AI and NVivo to help with literature review. Capital.
Yeah.
Sorry
It's
for
all
that.
right. This will get easier once we're in.
And we've said that we'd start with the Ketsu activity, then we will demonstrate how like we've used NVivo and AI to help with literature review, and then have a kind of plenary. So the whole thing's 90 minutes.
90 minutes, right? Okay.
But we have to we need like a good 20 minutes of demonstration, and then a good 10-15 minutes at the end. So that takes out some minutes. So probably like 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes, because there'll be a bit of an introduction.
So
If we said 45, and then if it went on a little bit longer, it would be okay.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
what we'll do is we'll put in the time for everything, and then you can just have a line item, which is your demo, etc., so that you've got the 90 minutes. Yeah.
Great.
So this workshop planning tool basically it leads you through the process of planning a workshop. What's your title? How many participants? Who are the possible participants? Any stakeholders who might be interested? You don't, all of this is helpful, but you don't have to do it. But it isn't, what are you hoping to get out of this? So we've got a drop down list of the sorts of things that is it largely just to develop new thinking around?
Yeah. Well, it's to find out about how other people are using it as well. How other people are using the technology, and
Yeah.
and what they think about it, about the beliefs about using AI for literature review.
This is where it's embarrassing. Can't spell. Leafs.
But it doesn't, yes, I
Yeah.
can't spell
I
either.
think the caps is on, that's why you
Okay,
are.
around AI. Yeah, so it's a broadly exploratory. So how you're using it, what do you think about it? Yeah, okay, all right.
Mhm.
Right. So I'm going to update, and that'll now save this workshop plan. So now we go to activities, and this is where you get to say you've got 90 minutes, was that right, in total?
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got 90 minutes. Actually, well, that'd be let's try it doing this way. 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Mhm.
That's right. Yep.
Yes,
Do you know what the start time?
we do, but I don't know it. But Halima, I think, knows it.
Yeah, sorry, not at the moment.
Okay, we'll put in 10 o'clock for the moment, and you can change it later. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's face to face. I think probably then this would be almost a review and reflect, I think. Let me think.
Mm.
Do you think it would be how are you using it? What went well? What didn't went well? Or how are you using it? What are the strengths and what are the weaknesses?
Oh, so um, so we thought, I don't know if this will help. Um, oh, just find trying to, sorry, just trying to find the question that we
Oh yeah,
thought.
if you've got the kind of questions you were thinking of, that would be great. Yeah. this auto fills it, and then you can change it around once you've auto filled
So
it. Yeah.
good, yeah.
So we thought, what is the potential of using AI technology, including in vivo, to conduct literature review might be like a main question.
Mhm.
And then haven't actually written them as questions, but like for the big leaves, thought there might be these kind of issues, ethical issues, questions
Okay.
about validity.
Right. That's I'm going to put, that's the sort of thing we put here. Ethical issues, validity. Um,
And there was like efficiency, transparency, human input, learning, and other. So we had all those, which might be too many.
okay, we can come back to that one we can come back to that in a minute. That's fine. So I'm just going to go. So you see, basically it's what we call the basics, beginning activity sequencing inputs. So activities, I think it's probably going to be more, how have you used it? How have you used it? How might you use it? And what are the strengths and weaknesses? Does that sound about right? Something like that. Let's go for that. And then we can see what this gives us is, well, we can change it in a minute. So it's either that.
Maybe the one about reflect, is it? The reflective?
The first one.
Reflect, yeah, review and reflect, maybe.
Yeah, this
No, probably not that one.
no, I think we can adapt it in a minute. This is just giving us something to start with. So I think it's probably more like this. We'll use the positive and negative,
Yes.
and then, but so do you see how now I'm going to sequencing?
Yes.
Introductions. We can come back. I'll come back to warm-up exercise in a minute. I think I'd probably go for, instead of, I think I would add here. I think a what? Do you know what? I'm wondering if a warm-up exercise actually could be, right, the activity. You said, what is the potential?
Yeah, for using AI technology, including in vivo, for literature review.
Yeah. So, all right. And then I'll just, okay. So I'm just going to update this. What I'm thinking what might work well for this is to put, so with this you can move it. So you just get to add and subtract. I'm thinking for your warm-up exercise, I would probably, what we like to do with Ketso is give everybody have the felt out with all the branches on it, like the themes you just said, covered with a small felt. And I'll show you this in a minute. I've got everything ready for you. So we'll do that offline because it's a bit tricky to show on a laptop. Give everybody a pen and some leaves and do a warm-up exercise where it's just, you just say, write the answer to this question, one answer per leaf, write the answer to this question. And you don't even tell them we'll have different color leaves or anything. You just say, this is just one thing, one question. And I'm wondering if the best warm-up exercise is just how have you used NVivo and or AI so far? It's a simple question. Like you can anybody can answer that, can't they? Like just one or two ways you've used it so far.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it's just getting people going, like, and if somebody says none, that's fine because it's a warm-up exercise. This is only going to take 5 to 10 minutes.
Hmm.
Does that sound about right? So warm-up exercise would be,
Yeah, no, that sounds a good idea. And if they've not used it, could maybe get them to encourage them to think about ways they might have unwittingly used it. Because actually, there's so much AI that we're using all the time and not understand, we don't always know we've used it.
would you, I'm inclined to not narrow this down to literature search at this moment, just how have you used MVivo and or AI in the past?
Yes. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good,
Rather
actually.
than in literature review, because it's almost like
Mhm.
one of the answers might be I've used it in literature review. Oh, I used it to plan a lesson plan. I used it to do this. How does
Mm.
that sound?
I think that sounds sensible.
And maybe for this, I think I might just go for AI.
Yeah, okay.
I think to keep it simple, I think I might just, how have you used AI?
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep it, because otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
how have you used AI? 2 or 3 ways you've used it, and if the answer is I haven't, think, are you sure?
In academia or what?
I think
general?
for warm up,
Oh, okay.
I'd just go for in general.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is just getting you going. Have I used AI? How have I used AI? I mean, I'm struggling to imagine many have used it outside of academia. I don't know, planning or yeah, writing my CV. Yeah, so 2 to 3 leaves each, and maybe duration of this 5 minutes. Like you're really keeping it quick and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Right. And I would probably not, I wouldn't skip this one. I would say that's probably, I would do that because it gets people going. Then I would go to these future possibilities here, which is how might you use AI, including NVivo, in your literature review in the future?
Yes, okay. That makes sense. So,
What are you imagining? How might you use it? What sorts of things might you do? Yeah. So that would be
mm,
green leaves. So the metaphor here is brown. I would use this would be brown leaves
okay.
because it's like the brown
Brown
is
leaves, the
this.
big leaves or the little leaves?
No, they're all the same. There's the larger ovals that you put your themes on. Those are like the branches of a tree. And then there's 4 different colors of leaves at the same size. Brown, which is like the soil. What have you done? What's worked? What have you got? Green, the shoots of new ideas. Gray is rain clouds, problems. Yellow is sunshine, positive solutions. And so it's got a kind of metaphor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's little white cards that you can do comments or questions or label things. Yeah.
Great, yes.
Okay. So green leaves, how might you use it? Okay. And I would say this is, again, this isn't skippable. This will be I would say that would probably be about 10 minutes. That sounds
Mm-hmm.
probably be about right. And then, and I'll come into how to share it on the felt in a minute. What is good about, and this is where it's about what is good about, and we'll have to edit it. So this is what are the strengths? Is it in vivo or kind of almost like
Yeah,
qualitative analysis? Is it in
yeah.
vivo as a category of qualitative analysis or specifically in vivo you want to look at?
Yeah, specifically in Vivo,
Yeah.
because then we demonstrate how we use in Vivo to help a literature review. So,
But in terms of as the workshop topic, though, I mean, what if somebody else uses AI Atlas and they're just thinking, well, I could use AI and Atlas. Yeah. I'm just thinking in terms of the
mm,
apologies, that's my phone going now.
so, so we've called the actual title of the whole workshop Exploring Untapped Potential and Vivo as a Powerful Tool for Literature Review in Educational Research.
Let me I'm just thinking in terms of the participants there, saying what's the potential? I just feel like if it was me as a participant, and even if I was in an in vivo workshop, I'd just be interested in what's the future potential of AI and qualitative data analysis software. Like, I'm not sure I'd ask it about just in vivo because
Yeah, well, we'll show them when
you're
our
showing them in vivo later, but it's
demonstration.
almost like
Yeah, so we
in
wouldn't
vivo is a
have to.
category of, isn't it? It's a category, it's a
Mm,
type of qualitative data analysis software. Whereas I think
yeah.
the broader kind of question you're asking is around is tech in general, isn't it? AI and qualitative
Mhm.
analysis software, as opposed to a human being, a highlighter pen and post-it notes, isn't it? That's sort of, what.
Yeah.
So
No, exactly. I think that, and I think so long as we demonstrate with them Vivo, and then it would be fine because yeah, they might use others, and they potentially could use like Atlas to help with literature review. Be different, but it probably have its own strengths. And
I mean,
Mhm,
it's well, we
mhm.
can come back to this. I think it's almost like I'd just be saying future possibility. What's the future potential for AI, qualitative data software, etc. I would probably keep it quite broad there.
Yep.
What's good about AI and qualitative data
Hmm.
software? Do you see what? Do you see? I just feel like if somebody hasn't used in vivo and you're asking them what's good about in vivo and this, I think I'd be a bit like, oh gosh, I don't know. But I know
Yeah. But
I've
they
used
might
Atlas.
but you might then be able to say, yeah, a lot about Atlas or other softwares actually.
Exactly, or the spreadsheet that or I use a swallow I use a spreadsheet and I want to use that within Vivo, and it's actually the intersection of
Mhm.
what's good about it, what's good, positive strengths. So this would be your efficiency, etc., wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and then this one, let's come back to. You might want to lose this one, ways to enhance it.
Hmm.
Like this is like another Greenleaf thinking. What else could we do? What else does this make us think of, etc.? But I think I might lose that one and just do the
Hmm.
table swap. And then I'll come back to how to do the table swap in a minute. Let's get the overall sequence. What are the problems?
Hmm.
Are the potential problems? It's so
So
funny.
they're the grey leaves.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that'd be about 10 minutes. We'll come back to durations in a minute. I do quite like having this green leaf, ways to overcome the challenges, the problems.
Hmm.
And then this would be just narrowing down ideas of quick prioritization and sharing ideas. So, but now you definitely want to do, so how long you were thinking you would do your demonstration for?
Yeah, definitely 20 minutes. I mean, don't think we can do it less than
Yeah,
so say 20,
20. So
yeah.
yeah. So let's save that. And then you wanted to come back to a plenary, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right. The plenary. Can go back in and fix it later. Is it 10,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
10,
10's
15?
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. This now will tell us we're at 2 hours, so we've got to lose half an hour.
Hmm.
So I would definitely lose that one.
Okay.
That's 10 minutes right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So How have you used it? What's the 10 minutes introduction is probably a bit much, isn't it?
Yes, we can probably say 5, couldn't we, for
I
that?
think so, yeah. Because if it's 50 people in the room, you're not going to get people to introduce everybody on the table. I would get people to do themselves at the table with this warm-up exercise.
Hmm. So
Each
we'll
person.
probably just introduce ourselves and then introduce the order of the session, really, and the aim of the session and structure. So
Name and institution. I would just add that into the warm-up exercise so that people have introduced themselves at the table.
mhm.
Okay. So we're now only over by 15 minutes. It could be worse.
Right, okay.
So future possibilities, how might you use it in the future? What's good about it? What are the problems? I would do this. This is a lovely way to do it. What's good about AI? What are the problems? And then what's really nice is do at the table swap, use the table swap to do ways to overcome the problems. So you go to the other table and
Ah,
choose one or two problems and find ways to overcome them, and then you come back to your table. So it's a nice way
okay.
to get doing a table swap is brilliant because you go and you see, oh, all of your gray leaves are on that branch, whereas all of our gray leaves are on that branch, or they but it's good to do something in the table swap. So I would do this solving the problems. So what I would actually do is as a table swap.
I see, yes. So that 10 minutes of table swap is not 10 minutes because they're doing it and they're swapping.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can now lose it as a table swap on its own, and then we just do it as a table swap as ways to overcome the challenges. And then I would say, and we've already got sharing ideas here. We could narrow that. We could actually just lose that, I think, couldn't we? We
Mm,
could narrow down ideas is put down icons by them. And then I would say you could lose sharing
mm.
ideas, demonstrate, and then go to sharing ideas, couldn't you? And then you can make that 15 at the end, which is nice.
Yeah, so the sharing ideas could come as part of the plenary in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. So in fact, if we just do that, delete that, and make this sharing ideas, ask for feedback, a key idea from the table. And that's kind of the
mm.
use the ideas with icons. And then
Yes,
15 minutes.
fab. Gosh,
Mm.
and did you make this program, write it yourself?
I worked with Research IT on it, so it's sort of the thinking with my colleague Fraser Howe and I. We came up with this framework ages ago, the basics framework, and then it was turned it into a piece of software with Research IT. Yeah,
Mm,
and then what happens at the end? If we look at this, we can export the plan and you've got something you can save to Word, which will give you the start time, 10 o'clock, how long, what the steps were, what the details are, and which leaf you're using.
well, yes.
Yeah, it's quite nice if I say so. Yeah.
Yes, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because then you'll know and what will so you see so some things well the introductions is probably no longer squashable at 5 minutes, is it? But ways to overcome the challenges, you could squash that by making it just come up with solutions to one challenge, really quick.
Mhm.
Yeah. And obviously sharing ideas is squashable because you've given yourself 15 minutes, so that's quite nice. And so if you get to 10:20 and you're not even on what's good, you've got to speed it up. So the way you speed it up is you say take one or two leaves and each person writes one or two leaves and then that speeds it up.
Aha.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool. So we'll go back to this, and this is the ideas that go on the felt. So these are the themes that you're using to help spread out the ideas. They're the branches of the tree. So
Mhm.
with those questions in mind, the first one, how have you used AI in the past, is going on a blank felt. It's a separate question. Then we've got what's the future potential? Now, Mike, what's interesting, when I look at these themes, they work really well for what's positive and what's negative, don't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Do they work for what's the future potential? I'm not sure, like, where would you put the future potential? I guess it's learning and human input. I guess it is there, isn't it? It's kind of in these ones here, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, I think, yeah, the future is more the last two,
And
potentially
these are more
transparency.
the ethical, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is okay, because if you end up with all the greens around one, but there's probably going to be still some negatives on human input. There might be some negatives on human input, that might be, well, who wrote the algorithms? What are the issues? That I could see that some ethical issues could come up on those last two.
Mhm.
What are we learning? How do we trust it? Yeah. No, I think these actually work quite nicely, don't they? For ethical, validity, efficiency, transparency. Can we is transparency, do we want that as a whole category, or do you think that that might come up under ethical? Is like it feels a bit
It
like a
can come under validity or ethical, actually.
scan, can't it? Yeah, recoverability. Yeah, I,
Mm.
I I might be inclined to lose that as a category on its own. It
Mhm.
feels like the kind of thing people might write on a leaf rather than what more is there to say about it? Transparency is an issue. Does that
Uh-huh.
make sense?
Yes.
And fewer would be nice, just because that's quite a long. We really
Mhm.
like five.
All
It's
right. Well, there's five there. Is five better than four?
five, 4 or 5 is perfect because you have 6 branches and you want at least one blank. So that you can put it up to 8 branches. It is doable, but I don't recommend it unless you need to because it's a little bit overwhelming.
Mhm.
It's just that the brain seems to work really well at 5 or 6. That's just like, you
Uh-huh.
if I've got a framework that's got 8 components, I'll put 8 branches on it. But if I don't have to, I don't. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think of ethical, I think we could just call it ethics, couldn't we? Then we've got it into
Hmm.
ethics, validity, efficiency, human input, and learning. It's nice.
Mm.
Yeah. Is human input? What do you mean by human input there?
Well, I mean, was humans kind of interacting, excuse me, with the AI. But I also kind of think there's certain things that humans can do that perhaps AI
Can't
won't do.
so sort of almost human in the loop. Yeah, human in the loop, society in the loop. How much control do you want to have? How much do you just say, yeah, no, I think that does make
Mhm.
sense. Yeah. How much does the humans develop the coding frame and then train the AI? How much do you let AI decide that it's going to find the coding frame, and what are the strengths and weaknesses of each? Yeah, no, okay, that makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense. I think those are actually really nice branches now. So I think I would probably put ethics and validity in the same quadrant. No,
Mhm.
no, maybe ethics on its own, actually. Ethics is huge, isn't it?
It's huge for, yeah,
Yeah. I think I would.
especially for students,
Hmm.
even more so, really, I think, than for us.
I think I'll show you what I mean by this when we I think I'd probably have ethics under blank, on one thing, then on one quadrant, validity and efficiency on another, because that feels like some of the trade-off, isn't it? Like, it's going to be quick. Is it going to be right? It's going to be quick. Is it right? And then
Yeah.
have on their own human input and learning, because those feel like the bigger meta ones to me, the kind of ones that all the green leaves will go around. And yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
sounds, yeah, excellent. Then we go to conclusions. And this is just usually, I just like to write this down for myself. Are you going to type up the ideas, a summary report? Any of this going to happen? Photographs
Oh,
of
we
the
definitely,
data
yeah,
shared?
we would want to photograph, I think, the
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably
codes.
realistically, unless you've got some funding or loads of spare time, ha ha ha, you're probably going to take a picture, stick it in Dropbox, and share the Dropbox links, aren't you?
Yes.
You know, the quickest and most efficient way, I've been thinking about this recently, is set up the Dropbox in advance, get a QR code for it, and give the QR code right then and there, and say, take a picture of this. As soon as we've taken the pictures, we'll put them in Dropbox. Just because otherwise you've got to get their emails. I mean, you might want to get their emails to send them their email, but doing it that way, you're putting the onus on them to come to you to get the data. So that's something
Yeah.
I've just recently I've been thinking that's the smart way to do it. Here's the QR code. If you want the results, take a picture of it right now, and
Yeah.
it will be there as soon as we've finished this workshop. We'll be taking pictures. We'll stick it in Dropbox as soon as we get back to our laptop.
Yeah, no, that sounds sensible. Yeah, because it could be quite a big job actually
To get 50 emails and then it's got to be data. I mean, unless you want people's contact, you might want them so that you can network, etc. But it's a job of work to type up 50 emails and have it on a consent form, etc., isn't it? But
Mhm.
if you're saying if you want it, I can send you a QR code generator if you want. And then you just simply say, here it is. And
Yeah, that would be great
I
if you
wonder if
can.
Dropbox does.
Actually, I've never used one.
Yeah, I also
QR codes.
It works for URLs. I don't know if it would work for Dropbox per se. That's an interesting question. Be really good to be able to get a QR code straight to a Dropbox, wouldn't it?
there will be a way.
There will be a
There
way.
will be a
Yeah.
way. I'll find
Yeah.
out. Like, so if you couldn't find, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
find
There will
out.
yeah. Share a QR code to the Dropbox, and then you can just pop all the pictures in.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
very clever.
Yeah. So we'll update that. And then supplements, squashables and skippables. Usually this is just, you're not going to need supplements because believe me, you'll be struggling for time. You're not going to run out of time. The
Yeah.
only thing that I sometimes do, if one table is finished early, you can ask them to look at the branch.
Okay. That's interesting.
or elaborate on an idea. Can you give examples? Oh, I'm about to lose power.
Ooh,
Is it Pauline or mine?
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
you.
yours.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not mine because I'm plugged in.
So this can be more at that one table's raced ahead and is about to run it looks like they're finished, but the other tables are still reading out their leaves. You might need just at the table a supplement, like, oh, I don't see any ideas on this branch. Is that because you couldn't think of any, or or this looks like an interesting idea. Could you come up with a few more examples here just to help them catch up whilst you go to the other table and say, okay, we're about ready to move on. So you're just sort of speeding people up a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there we go.
Wow.
Then what you get with now, we'll update the lot and save. Okay. Yeah, this is driving me crazy. The way they did it, there's no save as button, so you have to if you save it, it already exists. So if you want to save a new plan, you have to go up and rechange the title at the top. This is one of the things that I found it a bit frustrating working with research IT, to say the least. So there we go. We have a workshop plan. All you need to, and all that detail is down at the bottom with the branches and your supplements and what you're going to do with it is at the bottom. And then you just need to save that to Word. So there, it's just saved to Word somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it comes up as a Word document. Now, obviously, if you're going to change things, it makes sense to change it in the underlying file. But equally, if on the day you just want to very quickly change it here in Word, just change it in Word and there you go.
Okay.
But you could go in and manually change this if you found out, oh, no, actually it was 11. But obviously, it's quicker and easier if you go back into, if you find out that was 11, all you have to do is go back to activities and change the time to 11, update, and then it will have changed it all throughout. So obviously that's just a bit quicker and easier. Yeah.
Let's see if I have got the time. Well, it looks amazing. And really, like, got very organized rather than it being a bit kind of nebulous. It's really organized, and yeah.
Excellent. And you can use this for, it doesn't have to be Ketso. You can use it to plan a lecture, to plan a workshop, to plan, so you can use it for all sorts of things. Yeah. You just add your own steps that you want to. I know one of my RAs used it he was teaching last semester. He planned every single lecture out on it, bless him. I mean, I've got to the point where I just show up and wing it, but yeah.
Cool. Oh, it's actually 3:30.
Oh, right. Okay.
On the 9th of September.
Right. There we go. We change it right now, and then you've got it.
Yeah.
3:30.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll update that now and export the plan. There you go. Now
so where do we get hold of this? How do we get this software?
It's a web browser. So it is just thinkingware.manchester.ac.uk. And Halima's already got now the annoying thing is the way they set it up, Halima can't share this workshop plan with you. You'd have to log into her account. This is one of the things that I'm tearing my hair out about, and the research IT are like, nah. Well, you have to pay us more to make it to work. So I'm trying to come up with some more money to get it so that it's got a save as button, and so I can share workshop plans. But you can make your own account and then make your own plans, or share Halima's account if for this one. So
I can give you my username or password.
Yeah.
Password.
Yeah. So there you go. You've got a workshop plan. I've got 9 felts and 50 pens. And all the leaves you would need for that. And I can just show Halima in a minute just what we've got and how to set that up.
If Pauline has time, I would like she to be online there as well.
Sure.
Do you have time, Pauline?
I'm all right for a bit. Yeah, I've got
let me go get it. My office is just there. So
yeah, I can be for a bit.
If you have to go, that is fine as well. But I was thinking just in case if you have any question.
Yeah. No, I'll carry on stay for a bit while you do them.
I'll be 2 secs. It's all ready around the corner.
That useful. Yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it?
It's really good, yeah. Seems like we can always use it for our presentations and things. Like just for own self as well.
If you can just send me when you can, like the Word version of it. There's a few little spellings and I can just like edit them.
Yeah. So but we need to make a PowerPoint of it as well, yeah?
Yeah. That's fine. That will be easy to do. Really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PowerPoint would be like simple to make from there.
I've done a lot of work on this other PowerPoint as well, so we'll share with you.
Fab.
Yeah.
Fab. I thought it was like nearly there. It's like, what are the key cultural models?
Yeah. I want to use all participants, so don't worry about that one. We'll discuss it later.
Right.
Oh, thank you so much for carrying it all.
No worries. Okay. So I've got it set up just sort of bespoke for this workshop, as it were. So you've got bags and bags of. I got you 9 bags of brown leaves because that's your first exercise. So that's one per table. 9 bags of browns.
Yeah, I'll close it.
And then
So should we have 5 or 6 people roughly on a table? Would you go?
exactly that. Yes. Yeah. 5 to 6. Yeah. Yeah. It can go up to 8. So but at 8, it takes a bit longer on each table. So 5 to 6 is perfect. So this is what the felt looks like.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So you put it on the table. What you do, you have to move the centerpiece because it doesn't fold with the centerpiece. So you have to move. So what you will need to do, Halima, is, or the two of you, is just write up the branches. So on the centerpiece, I would just write AI and NVivo, AI and Qual software, maybe AI and Qual software. And then you see how the branches, do you remember what I said? Like I do ethics and a blank, validity, efficiency, human input and learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all that's, so you've got more space down there at the bottom for human input and learning, and you've got sort of ethics and validity on the two that together here. No, validity and efficiency and ethics and the blank for who knows what.
Okay.
And then on the back, you've got some spare branches in case that basically I usually end up with at least there's one spare branch just for things that they just think, I've got no idea where it fits. And you've got a few extra on the back in case people say, but I need another label. And you say, that's fine, have another label. Now, what I would do is write the branches up, write the centerpiece up. If I'm doing it with my own students, I often make them write the branches, but in a tight workshop with professionals, I would write them in advance, just so that write the centerpiece, set it on the table with the centerpiece put in place. And then this is you've got 9 of these mini felts as well. And you use that to cover the branches so they can't see them to start with. You do the warm-up exercise onto the mini felt. So that's your brown leaves, how have you used AI? After they've written the green leaves, what's the future potential? You quickly take that away, revealing the branches underneath it.
Oh, I see.
It's quite important that they don't see the branches when they're writing the green leaves, because they'll get a bit like, oh, I've got to write something for each branch. And the way I introduce it instead is, I usually say, we're now having a Blue Peter moment when I reveal one that we made earlier, and you take that away, and then they can see the branches written up. And you say, these are just here to spread and stretch our thinking. One person read an idea out, pop it on the felt, put it at the branch closest that's where it fits the best. But don't worry about it. If it just put it down wherever it seems to fit. If it doesn't fit, put it by a blank branch. Next person read an idea out, put it where it seems to fit. And then you can go around the table and show people how to cluster the ideas, so they can actually just cluster. It can be quite nice just to see if you see somebody's written a few ideas that are very similar, you can go and just suggest, oh, you might want to point them at each other like this. So one person read an idea out. So on my leaf, and now with academics, what you have to say up front is just read it out and put it on the felt. You can discuss it later. Because academics tend to start doing a kind of half-hour lecture on one leaf and you're not getting all the ideas down. So one of the things I would say is really important, and I've got some slides I'll share with you that you can use to say the ground rules of this are, for each step, we've got time on our own to write or draw our ideas. It should be quiet then. It's completely time on your own. Then we're going to share the ideas, and we're going to discuss them later. We call it think, then share, then discuss. So you literally read your idea out, pop it on the felt where you think it fits. Don't worry too much about exactly where it fits, because again, academics tend to go into a huge argument about, oh, is this ethics or is it this? And it's like, just put it down, it's fine. You can move it later. Because they can, honestly, academics are the worst.
Yeah.
And it's really important that one person shares an idea, put it on the felt. Next person shares an idea, put it on the felt. You're taking the power, taking it away from the facilitator has to have the power to try and control the person who speaks the longest, to it's the kit. The ground rules are everybody has leaves, everybody writes, and you share one leaf at a time and you discuss it afterwards. Those are the ground rules, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can lend you a bell if you like, because I quite like introducing the bell. When I ring the sorry, I forgot to bring it through. When I ring the first bell, you've got a moment to finish what you're saying. Second bell, it's time for quiet so we can move on to the next step. We've got several steps. We want to make sure everybody's voice is heard and we get through all of the process. So that's a nice calm way of doing that rather than having to shout or sort of, especially with 50 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds helpful.
So on the table, you have the branches written up, the small felt on top, a pile of 6 leaves, a pile of 6 pens, and you've got your 50 pens there. And in the first instance, just the brown leaf bag out. Now, I haven't got 9 leaf bags of everything else. So after that, you'll just put a pile of green leaves and use the leaf bags after that. Yeah. There you go. And I've got some slides that have those ground rules written on them. So you can just use, it's up to you. Some people like using slides, some people don't. It doesn't, and it's, you know, the only one advantage you can use the slides is it shows a few important looking people using Ketso. It kind of gets you, you can use 2 slides to say, we're going to use Ketso. It's been used around the world. There's a map of where it's been used. It's been used in policy, from policy making to academic research to teaching. And it's like in 30 seconds you've gained a bit of credibility rather than having to say this is what we're doing and why we're doing it. It's like, yeah, tons of people all around the world are using this. It's it's
we definitely make a PowerPoint, so that would be very helpful.
Cool. Great. And then at the end, let me show you one thing. Sorry, at the end, so 2 more things actually. When if you can, and these are the icons that people can use to narrow the ideas down. So you can use, sometimes when I do a table swap, I do 2 rounds of icons, but in this case, you're just doing solve the problems. But at the end, you just say, take a tick icon and put it by the idea that's the most important to you. And then you could get them to choose with the yellow tick, the top idea per table, because then you've already narrowed it down for when you do the feedback, because you've got them to choose it. If somebody's being really argumentative or there's a problem, they can use the warning triangle to disagree. And the whites are to make, I wouldn't recommend using them, but if somebody says, oh, but this idea is connected to that idea, then you say, oh, that's great. Just use a white icon there and a white icon here, right? Star, star. And you've made it, it's like a little breadcrumb trail across the felt. I don't introduce those up front. I introduce them if I hear somebody saying they need them. And especially academics can be a bit like this, but this is linked to this idea. It's like, yeah, great, let's make that link. But I don't tell people to make that link. In that sense, it's sort of like responding to their conversation instead.
What did you say this is for, the exclamation mark?
This is for prioritizing at the end. So this is what's the key idea for you? So they've got their ideas down. Everybody take an exclamation mark, and it's a booklet, so you've got enough. And point an exclamation mark at the idea that is most important to you on this felt. As a group, can you choose the top 1 to 2 ideas and point that a yellow tick at the idea that's the top 1 to 2 ideas? And then they can use that when you get to plenary you might want to have another look at the ideas with the yellow tick by it and feed that back, because that helps them narrow it down. And the warning triangles are for any areas of disagreement. But what I usually say is if they disagree, they need to write on a white card, which you've got in there, why. Because it's not much, you don't just want a bunch of no, 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 I don't agree.
Yeah.
Then to clean it up at the end, I'll leave you. So, then photograph. What I recommend is take a photograph of the whole thing and then quadrant by quadrant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you recommend saying table 1, table 2, something to differentiate different tables because there are 9 of them?
I would if I was really gathering the data for a research project and it mattered.
Okay.
I think for this,
Okay.
I wouldn't, if like I had groups where that mattered and I wanted to link the warm-up felt to this felt, and I knew that at that table there were the people who were doing that, then I would, but I wouldn't bother you about it for this one.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, in the table swap, you said, yeah, in the past we used to, that comment boxes, the white kind of tags, yeah. Are you not recommending it now?
What you could do, which might be quite nice, you've done green, future possibilities, yellow, what's good, gray, what are the challenges. What would be nice would be to actually use the exclamation marks to choose 2 or 3 challenges that you think are particularly important.
Okay.
Then do the table swap.
Okay.
And then once you've done that table swap, green leaf, the ones that are important. Can you solve those? Mm-hmm. So we'll add that into the exercise.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm suggesting do the table swap with the greening, I wouldn't necessarily do the table swap. These are the ideas I think are the most important at the other table, because you've only got an hour basically for this workshop.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Then at the end, take your picture. When you need to move it, you move the felt, and then carefully, you might just need to move things out these slits. They're there because they're if you can take the picture before you move it, but you might be in a hurry. If you're in a hurry and you've got to get out of the room, just make sure the leaves are sticking down, move them, gently fold it over. Luckily, if you're in University Place, you don't need to worry too much. Fold it over again like that. And then you've got 3 bags, you just gently fold that over, try not to bend the leaves. And then that's how you get it back home. And then at the end, to clean it up, what I recommend is leave these on and just take a wet paper towel and wipe them off. And then just take the leaves off, all the green leaves, put them in a bag, all the brown leaves, put them in a bag. And then that rinses clean in water.
Oh, really?
And dries. Yeah.
That's so easy.
Yeah. It just hangs up to dry.
Because it takes ages otherwise. I normally wipe each.
I cleaned about 1,000 leaves yesterday and they're already dry.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So
just like soap water and dip it and take out.
If it's fairly recently after the event, just doesn't even need soap. Just stick it in the sink, in the water, just a bit like this.
Oh, that's great.
And then it dries. Yeah.
That's
good, isn't it?
So these are just slightly wet because I only did them yesterday evening, getting this ready. So they just need a little shake around to get dry. To finish up. There you go. Yeah. This was my dad's last great invention, was the wash bag. He was my business partner until he died. This is his last invention.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've just got a few extra brown and greens in case you need them in the wash bag for now. So, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So I'll quickly find those slides for you.
Thank you.
And obviously, I'd love to hear. Perhaps, do you know if there's a hashtag? Perhaps you could just tweet about it if you're going to tweet at all, and just hashtag in going to use Ketso for this workshop. That would be brilliant.
Okay, we'll do
that. That'd be fab. And obviously, I'd love to hear how it goes and any feedback as well.
Yeah, definitely. We give you feedback.
Yeah.
Halima can tweet. No,
Yeah.
Yeah. But we definitely can give you feedback.
That would be brilliant.
Sure.
And what I will do as well, I'll give you some action cards, which sometimes I like to give out an action card at the end and just say everybody can just write something they're taking away from the workshop. And they get to keep it, and it's got the Ketso website on it as well. So then they can, you know, if anybody says, "Can we use it?" They absolutely. Here's your action card. You know, Ketso is, you can rent it and sell it, and yeah, rent it or buy it. Yeah, that would be brilliant.
Thank you so much for your time. It was very, very useful. Yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem.
really, really useful, and it looks really like it all should work well. And
Yeah.
they'll be learning if they've not used Ketso before, they can they'll learn how to use it as well, won't they?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and there is actually, you know, we're actually working on. I've had. I'm reworking a bid because I didn't get through the first round on, ironically, using AI to analyze the outcomes of Ketso data and using AI to take a picture and get it into a spreadsheet, just actually using OCR and AI. So there's an AI link to this as well. So
Right. Oh gosh.
from the exceedingly low tech to the high tech. So yeah, brilliant. So I'm just giving these a little shake because then they'll dry.
So Pauline, I will if you want, I can send you also the video of this, which would be helpful, just because so much we learned. Yeah.
Yes, please, if you can send me that and send me the Word version of the plan and the
I'm going to add one thing
and the
to it.
PowerPoint as well, because I think it's my job to sort the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I'll get you the PowerPoint in just a minute, and I can do that now with Halima here. And we're just going to add that one thing about highlighting the important challenges before the table swap.
Oh, it sounds helpful too, because I
think Bell would also be nice.
Yeah, thank you for
I'll lend you a bell.
I better go to get ready for this next meeting. But
okay.
Thank you so much.
No worries. And but maybe we'll have a coffee afterwards. That would be splendid for a bit of a debrief.
Yeah. And let you know how it all goes. And
brilliant.
Yeah, how we found
all
it.
Right.
Okay.
I think Pauline, you can go and I can keep doing this. So or you can just go out from this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to record it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, recording where the slides are and stuff. Okay, cheerio then. Bye.
Bye.
So to go back and add that one thing we said, we went back to sequencing. Let's add we'll add it as a whole step, which is just prioritize challenges. Actually, I would put a warning triangle icon because it's kind of like, oh, this is a double challenge. Okay. Warning triangle by top 1 or 2. The way I like to phrase this is the top 1 or 2 challenges that you would most like somebody else to solve. So let's make this, we'll call it 5 minutes show. I mean, it is literally just 2 minutes. It's like 2 minutes this. But I'm putting it in as an activity because I think you want to actually make sure you've and you do it before
table swap.
Yeah, there. So we'll make that minutes so it adds up. So we'll just make that 8. And then actually this to be or we can make it 15 and squash 13 and squashable, and then make this back to 10 so that do you see what I mean? That's probably more realistic, isn't it? Because people are going to spend a long time on the challenges, I think. Yeah. Does that look?
So what does squashable mean? Squashable means like squash these two items in.
Or just to make it quicker. So
Okay.
the way I would squash, I'll tell you what, maybe we should keep this at 10. At 10, yeah. The way I squash something, if it's leaves, is if I just normally I give out the leaves and I just say, right, one idea per leaf, and give people just a few minutes until you see people are slowing down. But if I want to squash it, I say take 1 or 2 leaves and write the top challenge. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I squash it, is rather than kind of, just take some leaves and you've got a few minutes. Yeah, it's take 1 or 2 leaves, write the key idea, and that helps. So when I say squashable, that's what I mean. And then we'll just get sharing ideas. It'll be more like 13, I think. That should be about right then. Okay. Does that add up? Yeah, 1 hour, 30 minutes still.
Perfect.
Brilliant. And I might, instead of narrowing down, I would just say prioritizing, because it's not, that's more of an action planning. Take a few. And in this case, I would say, on each. Like that. And again, this is squashable. You squash it by just doing the exclamation marks, because that doesn't need any discussion. That's like, quickly grab an exclamation mark, put it by the idea.
Perfect. Yeah.
If you've got the time, put it by an idea. Can you choose 1 to 3 ideas that you think are the most important? Yeah. So that's why we call it squashable. Excellent. There we go. So now we'll export it again. So has that done it right? 3:30, prioritize top challenges. Yep. One more time, save it to Word. There we go. There we go. Now you've got it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Now, the slides. I think we're on review and we were on feedback and discuss. Oh God, look at me. Look at this, hey? Look at this. And hopefully
exit down maybe. Yay.
So it's got, how do we aim? So obviously you just need to change the aims. We'll use Ket, so
How can we edit it? It's
by downloading it.
okay.
There we go. Oh, you might have to I think you could just continue with download. Let's see what happens.
Yay.
God, look at that, hey?
So yeah, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
So now you can just take the things from the Word document and
yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, Polly will love it.
yeah. If you want the map of where it's been used in the world, that can be quite nice.
Oh, are you not working in the last final version of this? Can you please open
Oh,
the table?
good point. Yeah. Good point. There we go. The case studies. I've just revamped my website, so I can't find anything. There.
Yeah. That's great.
We've got print screen.
Oh yeah, so we have control.
It's so funny, isn't it? When you
look it out. Control 3, I think. Okay, I will take a screenshot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but I think we need to get rid of this, but I think it's fine, yeah? Do you want, because this came in the middle, yeah? Sorry.
But I think if you just cut it down to
Yeah,
this,
okay, that's fine. I
that's
thought you want this.
nah,
Okay,
nah,
that's fine.
that's
That's
fine.
fine
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
What else? Yeah, and you said about hashtag, yeah? So, is there any specific thing which I should like? Is there any link which we should hashtag or? Because I've never done this, I would learn how to do it, and it should be fine, straightforward, normally. But I mean, what I want to ask is that, do you have a specific link or site to which I hashtag like?
Yeah. So I don't think the print screen actually worked, but if I leave you with that,
Yeah, I know it worked because it has gone on the. It works differently in Mac because the screenshot will be on the desktop. Yeah, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
No, it's all right. Just so Twitter. Oh, X.
Yeah, they call it X now.
Oh, you're not okay.
I am with, but I need to.
It's just Ketso Ltd.
Okay, perfect.
In fact, I think I might even have it. Oh yeah, I'm going to give you action cards, aren't I?
Okay, so at Ketso, okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, and so this you'll just need to slightly change it. What's good? We didn't do in this case. We did it slightly differently, didn't we?
Yeah, Pauline will definitely sort it out. Like, you mean we will look at the Word document and
exactly
and amend it accordingly.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
You've got all of the only you've got all of the and that's just so you can write up the branches. It's actually just a little Word document there. So
perfect. Yeah.
And you've got all of the leaf colors here that you needed. So what's good, but you just need to reorganize that a little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm going to get you action cards and a bell.
Yeah, and I'll stop it so that it